60 years, the crisis comes, the global crisis comes, and it gives us an opportunity to learn the lessons of the 60 years, but then to make the necessary adjustments, particularly because many of our clients are now going to become middle income or upper middle income countries. They're going to get richer and much more relevant. Think about Brazil or China. So it was the right moment to focus on the clients, but over time, not just the impact of the crisis, but 5 years afterwards. Now,
because in Africa, less people have access on internet, so I don't know how all this could be managed to let majority of persons having the book to appropriate for themselves.
From Africa Media, from Africa Media, and I want to ask a simple question because I've been hearing you since morning time, and the debate was so quite interesting. In fact, I wanted to know if it is not too early to come out with a book like this, while we know that the MDP will just have to wait some few years, that is 3 years. We have planned it to 2015. So why is it now that the book is coming out? Why not after 2015 for the World Bank to know exactly the state, the situation of country and the growth of population and all around the world? Thank you.
Everybody. The simple answer is everybody. We put it in the internet because it's the fastest way to give the book to somebody for free. Does not mean that everybody has internet. One has to be realistic. So we also produce the book in hard copies. Now, in the countries like Cameroon, we bring the copies to our local office, and we let people walk in and read, but we also give free copies to universities. We can't just give free copies in the street because it will be not cost effective. But the fact that we put it on the internet is just one more way, not the only way, to reach everybody. So there is no question that yes, it is meant for policymakers, for politicians, it's made for academicians, it's made for journalists, it's made for people, normal people. And I urge you to read the synthesis of the book. The labor market. We don't have many doubts about that. Sorry, you want us to think that international trade will be different. That will come all packed during the next 5 years. Are very large. The risk, for example, of a debt crisis in the rich world. These days we speak about Europe. Lately we've been speaking about the US. So debt crisis among rich countries will have an impact on the developing world, no question about it. Small probability, large economy. It's what we call the black swan. So let me stop there and try to answer any question you have. Keep in mind I'm very new to Cameroon. It's only my second day in the country. So please try to focus mostly on the developing world as a whole, or if you want in Africa. I'm the director for the Africa Poverty Reduction Programs and Economic Management at the World Bank. Thank you.
Nous allons prendre...
Je travaille pour le côté...
Why? Because that synthesis, we try to write it in what we call kitchen table language, the language that you speak in the kitchen of your house. So if that's not correct, you let me know. You have my Twitter there, please complain. Because that was the purpose of the synthesis. But again, the book is not just available on the internet, it will be available in our YAOUNDE office, and we will also give copies to universities. We already did, by the way. So that's the first point. Now the second point about growth and poverty reduction. That's a very good question. Because if you have all your growth in industries that do not employ people, or at least not many people, then you don't see much poverty reduction. No, that's your question. You say, look, I mean, if all the growth comes from oil, then we don't, on ICT, how much poverty reduction we see if we don't get jobs out of this, at least not many jobs. The answer between one and the other is public expenditures. The answer between one and the other is the accountability, the pressure and accountability you put on the government to convert this natural wealth into human wealth. And how does the government does that? Well, the government receives income, revenues, from the industries that you mentioned, the extractive industries. Those revenues have to be used in a way that they generate jobs. And not jobs today by employing people today in the state, but jobs over time by creating a platform of infrastructure, of education, of business climate that allows the economy to expand beyond the extractive industries. Now, this has happened. There are countries that have managed to do this and to do it within one generation. And I urge you to look at Chile, a country that was highly dependent on copper, and it has still enjoyed copper, and they still sell copper. But they have managed to use the resources to do two things: to create this economic platform for all, especially the poor, and second, to save some of this money for the future. So again, the link between these industries here, the extractive industries, and poverty passes through the state. Okay? Now, final point is, why did you come here? What is the message? Frankly, I came here because I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn about your reality. I wanted to listen carefully to what you are going through. You have a country that is very unique, with a lot of potential, a leader in your region, of which the bank has made a priority. You are our priority. So as a director,